Here we are, guys, in part 9 of this story. What if Naruto was being trained by Madara and Hashirama? Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. What the hell happened to his arms? Shizune wonders to herself, how did you injure your arms like that? Tsunade asks, if you must know, I injured them fighting sensei as I attempted to crush the Leaf Village. Orochimaru says, and Tsunade's eyes widen in shock. Why are you here? I was wondering if you could heal my arms for me. Find someone else, I quit medicine a long time ago. We can't, only someone with your medical skill could heal this kind of wound. Kabuto says, everything with meaning and form eventually dies, after all you know this quite well. Orochimaru says, your loved ones' deaths were quite gruesome. Bastard. Shizune roars and rolls up her sleeve, revealing a Senbon launcher, and then she fires the Senbon at Orochimaru, but Kabuto jumps into the way, blocking them, but catches the last one. Poisoned needles. A hidden weapon, I see. Kabuto says, then Shizune charges Kabuto, dodging from side to side. She's fast. Out of my way. I won't let you. Shizune draws another hidden weapon and Kabuto slices with the medical knife, and just as she is about to slit Kabuto's throat, Tsunade calls out, Shizune, calm down. Shizune and Kabuto stop, and then Shizune retreats back to Tsunade's side. Tsunade looks at Orochimaru with a deadly smile. Orochimaru. You've been the same since we were kids, and you know what my personality type is, so stop joking around. Tsunade slams her fist into the wall. Or I'll kill you. The wall she slammed her fist into collapses. She's strong, and scary, I bet she's single. Kabuto thinks, shocked. Get lost. We can't do that, only you can cure Lord Orochimaru's arms. We didn't come to fight, we came to negotiate. Negotiate? Yes. Don't fuck with me. Tsunade snaps. Get lost. We're not asking that you do it for free. We will make a trade. Kabuto says, getting desperate. I'm going to count to 5, get lost before I'm done. Shit. Kabuto swears, otherwise I'll fucking kill you. Please calm down, this isn't a bad deal for you. 5. 4. Kabuto sighs in defeat. 3. 2. Shizune prepares to launch more Senbon. 1. Tsunade charges, but before she can get more than 4 steps, Orochimaru stops her with a few words that strike right at her heart. I'll revive your beloved little brother and man. Orochimaru smirks. With a hidden technique I developed. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. You haven't killed us yet, which means you're thinking it over. Tsunade starts to tear up. Naruto is running after Tsunade, determination stuck in his heart. Naruto. Stop. Mikuru calls out, grabbing his nephew. Don't try me, Oji-san. Naruto growls. I know you miss him, but if you charge and recklessly, you'll only get up getting killed. Naruto glares back, his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan activated, his chakra turned twice as dark as Madara's. What frightening chakra. Orochimaru needs to die, end of story. Naruto, even with Madara and Hashirama fighting by your side, you will still lose. Fine, I guess you have a point there, I'm their meal ticket, so that would distract them. Naruto stops and deactivates his eyes. But next time I see him, he's dead. Naruto glares. Don't you want to see them again? Orochimaru asks. Nawaki. Dan. Tsunade thinks in despair, then she looks back at Orochimaru. What will you do if I cure your arms? I don't like to lie, so I will tell you honestly. I am going to take what I want, and this time I'm going to crush Konoha for good. Naruto and Mikuru were standing on a roof looking at the destroyed castle when suddenly Jiraiya appears next to them. What took you so long, Ero Sennin? Naruto asks. Well, excuse me for not being a sensory type. Jiraiya retorts. Anyway, we know Orochimaru is in the area, and I just got finished talking Naruto out of charging in recklessly and getting himself killed, but now that you're here, we can go on the offensive. Mikuru says. Right, let's go. Jiraiya nods and the three of them run off towards Tsunade. Crush Konoha. Shizune repeats, infuriated. What's your answer? Kabuto asks Tsunade. Tsunade-sama. Shizune's voice brings Tsunade out of her reminiscing. You mustn't trust them. Your little brother and my uncle wouldn't want this. Their wish. More importantly, your wish. Did you forget them? Tsunade doesn't respond. I know how you feel. You're like this now, but you still. Please wake up. Shut up, Shizune. Tsunade responds, angered. You don't have to give us an answer right now, but we would like one within a week. Also, the forbidden jutsu requires 2 sacrifices, so please bring them with you. Kabuto says. Orochimaru struggles to bring up his arm and then he bites his finger and draws blood and instantly Tsunade freezes up at the sight. We know your weakness Tsunade, so you're in no better condition than I am, Orochimaru says. Then he turns to his right-hand man. Kabuto, let's go. Orochimaru and Kabuto jump off. A few minutes later, after Tsunade had gotten out of her shock, they left, and a couple of seconds later Naruto, Mikuru and Jiraiya arrive. Damn, we're too late, Jiraiya says. Naruto, can you track their chakra? Mikuru asks. Let me look. Naruto says, then lifts his fingers up and starts expanding his sensory range, extending it to his maximum radius, and after a few minutes Naruto releases the jutsu. Nothing. Naruto says, disappointed in himself. Could you trace her chakra? I'm sure it's in the area. I can't. Why not? To trace a chakra source I need a sample of said source, but I was looking for large chakra sources within my range. If she's a Sannin, then she's got to have massive reserves of chakra. That's not the only massive things she has. Jiraiya's perverted train of thought was interrupted when he felt a hand hit the back of his head. Does Mikuru need to choke a bitch? Mikuru asks threateningly. At any rate, we should start looking around, but this time we stick together. After a few hours of searching, their efforts don't bring up anything, and when they are walking past a bar, Naruto stopped dead in his tracks as he looks inside, where he was picking up a massive chakra source. I think I found Tsunade, and looks like someone else is with her. I'd say high Junin rank, Naruto says. Then let's head in. By the rules of the Land of Fire, you're an adult, so we shouldn't have any problems getting you in, Jiraiya says. The group of three walk in, and just after entering, Jiraiya sees Tsunade at one of the tables. Tsunade, Jiraiya says with glee. Jiraiya, what the hell are you doing here? Tsunade yells out, shocked. I finally found you. Boy, am I tired. So that's your granddaughter. Weird, she doesn't look a day over 20. Madara says. My little Tsunade has grown up. Hashirama says with pride evident in his voice. Can she use wood style? Madara asks. No. Hashirama rubs the back of his head. Why not? How the hell should I know? Hashirama yells. Enough, you two, Naruto says. Tsunade and Jiraiya look at one another as they sit down. I'm just seeing all sorts of old faces today, Tsunade says, shaking her head. Orochimaru, right? Mikuru asks. Shizune's eyes, and Tsunade looks at Mikuru and does a double take. Minato. Tsunade looks shocked. No, I'm his brother, Mikuru. A pleasure to meet you. What do you want? Why are you here, Jiraiya? Tsunade looks at her old teammate. Right to the point, as usual, Tsunade. The village wants you to become the 5th Hokage. Count me out, that's a fool's game. At her words, Naruto was about to lose it and was about to blow his top, when he blinks and notices the Mikuru no longer in his seat at the end of the table, Tsunade also not sitting down. Mikuru had grabbed Tsunade and chucked her across the room. Harations to her as he had marked the strap of Tsunade's blouse, and before Tsunade has a second to react, Mikuru throws a punch which passes not 2 millimeters from her left and leaves a hole in the wall. Tsunade looks at Yondaime look alike with fear as she crashing around the location of the table they were sitting at. He must have broke the table when hurled me for a loop. Do not finish that sentence if you want to live, because I will not have you bad-mouthing my little brother and your grandfather. Mikuru roars while unleashing killer intent enough to make Nana be short of breath. I'll say whatever I want to say. Mikuru sends her through the hole he made, and follows her outside. I wouldn't recommend it because regardless title, skills or talents, I will kill you without so much as batting an eye, Mikuru says while radiating a dark aura of killer intent. Mikuru Namikaze, calm down. Jiraiya roars. Count yourself lucky, Tsunade, because had you continued to shoot your mouth off I would have undoubtedly killed you. Like I said, I refuse becoming Hokage, only a fool would do that. At this point Naruto loses it and rushes Tsunade, drawing his gun by and swinging down intent on killing Tsunade. What the hell? Jiraiya thinks and he rushes to restrain Naruto when the gunbai stops moving and Naruto sheaths the weapon. You're not worth it, but I'm going to fight you for that regardless of what you think, and I will win, Naruto says. You want to start something, kid? Tsunade asks. As a matter of fact I do. Naruto drops into his dragon interceptor stance. Tsunade holds up one finger. What's that? How minutes until you drop down drunk? No, one finger. It will only take one finger to defeat you. I would rephrase that if I were you. Mikuru smiles darkly. I doubt he could hurt me. Bring it, you old bat. Naruto charges. What did you call me? Tsunade charges. After 5 minutes of fighting, Naruto slams Tsunade with his gun. By then notices the Hirishin marker on Tsunade's blouse, then starts charging a Rasengan and then looks at Tsunade. Naruto, don't do it. Mikuru says. I'ma do it. Don't you do it. I'ma do it. Tsunade, brace yourself. Mikuru roars out. Just then Naruto vanishes and reappears right in front of Tsunade and slams the Rasengan into her stomach. Then Tsunade goes flying backwards and slams into the wall behind them. Dang it. Jiraiya shouts out, then he runs up and checks on Tsunade only to find her unconscious but very much alive. A few hours later, Tsunade woke up and rubbed her head and looks at her surroundings, and then she looks at the people sitting around her bed. What happened? Tsunade asks. I kicked your ass, that's what. Naruto responds. Well, I guess you proved me wrong, kid, but why do you fight so hard for the Hokage? Because to become Hokage is my dream and I won't give up until I do. Tsunade looks at Naruto shocked, remembering Dan and Naoki's dream was the same. Naruto then notices a necklace around Tsunade's neck. Hey Tsunade, what is that necklace you're wearing? This was my grandfather's necklace. Oh, I remember that necklace, it's embedded with my chakra and it helps control Biju chakra. Hashirama says. Let me get this straight, you used your power to make a necklace. Madara says. Yes, why? Madara starts busting up laughing hysterically. Would I be able to acquire that necklace off you? Naruto asks. No way in hell. Tsunade yells. Not even if your loving grandfather asked. Naruto says slyly, my grandfather is dead. He was sealed inside of me at birth. Prove it. Naruto nods and preforms a hand sign, and in a flash of smoke Hashirama appears. Hi Tsunade. Hashirama smiles at his granddaughter. You've grown since I last saw you. Tsunade faints at the reappearance of her grandfather. Tsunade. Jiraiya and the others shout out. Again. Naruto whines. Then after a few minutes Tsunade wakes up. I just had the weirdest dream that I got beaten up by some kid, then I saw my grandfather. Tsunade says, rubbing her head. It wasn't a dream. Hashirama says. Holy hell. Tsunade yells. Language, young lady. Hashirama scolds. So grandpa, how are you here? Shinigami-sama ordered myself and Madara to train Naruto until he reaches the Sage of the Six Paths level. How close is he? I don't know. I might not be under any orders to teach him, but I think I know something that can help him. Jiraiya says. What would that be? Hashirama asks. Adding an element to the Rasengan. Jiraiya, are you crazy? Not even the late fourth could do that. What makes you think this kid could? I'm not just some kid, Dattebane. Naruto bashes Tsunade over the head. Kushina. Tsunade says, shocked. No, I'm her son Naruto Uzumaki. But Kushina had red hair. Who do you know that had blonde hair? You're the Yondaim's son. Sweet Kami, no wonder you jammed a Rasengan in my gut. I insulted your dad, your mom and your sensei simultaneously. My mom wanted to be Hokage. Yes, she did, Gaki, but I want to make a bet with you. Tsunade takes Hashirama's necklace off and shows it to Naruto. I bet that you can't manage to add an element to the Rasengan. Just you watch, I can master it in a week. Then it's a bet. Naruto and Tsunade shake hands to solidify the deal. Mikuru looks at Naruto. Come on Naruto, we've got a lot of work to do. Mikuru says and places his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Right, uncle. Okay Naruto, I'm going to teach you how to take your Rasengan to the next level in the form of a jutsu all your own. This jutsu, Mikuru says. Naruto just stood there all confused. Now Jiraiya will show you the non-elemental tricks that can kick the Rasengan up to be on par with an S-rank jutsu, while I show you the elemental tricks that can throw the Rasengan into a rank class all its own, which by the way are multiple times higher than an S rank. Naruto eyes widened. No way. But for now Jiraiya will take command of your training, Mikuru says, turning to the town. Notices Naruto about to rebut. Now I know you don't have much respect for Jiraiya, and frankly neither do I after a particular incident with him and your parents, but bottom line, he may be an immature, overly perverted, and frankly a pathetic excuse for a ladies' man. Jiraiya's eyes go white with fury. He has some moves worth learning from, so don't be so quick to bury him. Okay Naruto, I see you completed the training with Jiraiya. Mikuru notes after witnessing Naruto's giant Rasengan. That I did, uncle, and although I'm not entirely proud to admit it, you're right about Jiraiya. Naruto smiles at his uncle. Now Naruto, I believe you've seen Kakashi's Chidori / Lightning Blade, yes? Mikuru asks, yeah, it was awe-inspiring and Kakashi-sensei said it was based on the Rasengan. Naruto responds. Okay then, are you curious of how that jutsu came to be? And the grass is green, Captain Obvious. Naruto said like Mikuru had asked a rhetorical question. I need to perform some visuals to illustrate what I'm talking about, so please bear with me. He holds his hand out and preforms a Rasengan. The Rasengan has a parallel to a white canvas, and the sky above us. I partially get the part with canvas, but you lost me with the sky. Okay, let's try a different angle. Do you know about change in chakra nature? Naruto just glares at his uncle. I asked a stupid question. Mikuru says to himself. Naruto nods. Are you familiar about change in chakra shape? Mikuru looks to see a silent Naruto. I'll take that as a no. Alright, soulless shadow clone, get Hashirama out here. Okay. Naruto says in tune with complying, then Hashirama appears in a flash of smoke. Lord, first if you could demonstrate your wood prison jutsu I would appreciate it. Alrighty. Hashirama says, then slams his hands together. Wood style. Wooden prison. There is but one example of change in chakra shape, and our Rasengans take the concept to an extreme. Cool. Naruto says. Indeed so, and now to teach you how to turn change in chakra form and change in chakra nature and churn you Rasengan into the jutsu to our top. Alright, and I shall show you one of a few jutsu I've had knocked out since our session with the Fallen. Mikuru takes a step, as does Naruto. He focuses as his Rasengan takes form, but instead of the element less chakra like before the little typhoon in a ball stars to take the form of a Senbon. As the chakra Senbon takes form, Naruto then feels a couple beads of sweat rolling down his face and then notices the air has become quite hot. Fire style. Rasen Senbon. He says as he uses his unnatural strength to hurl the Senbon at a stray tree. The flaming chakra Senbon makes contact with tree. Said flaming chakra Senbon went through the tree, leaving a 2-centimeter hole with a fiery ring around the edge of the hole. Another look revealed that it went through 5 more trees before dissipating in the river. Now you know the result of what you can make, and I want you to know this. Outside me no one else knows how to do this. You mean? That's right, not even your dear old dad could complete this jutsu. And he freaking invented this jutsu. Naruto says to himself. That's right, now returning to the canvas and the sky concept. Mikuru says with a nod. Alright. Naruto gets a determined look on his face. Now the blank canvas represents the vast possibilities of what you can create. Makes sense. And the sky above our heads represents the limitless possibilities of the jutsu you bang out. You mean I can take the Rasengan to the point where Kami, Yami and Shinigami themselves would be jealous of me for its power? You don't have to take it that far, but you are right that you could take the Rasengan to a level which would make Orochimaru look like an academy student. Yeah, now that's a thought. Mikuru and Naruto start laughing at the thought of Orochimaru being helpless against a jutsu he has nothing on. Alright, now that little chuckle fest is out of the way, let's get started. Naruto glances up to the sky. Just you wait, Dad, I'm stepping up my game. After a visage of Minato and Kushina appear in some clouds. During the days that Naruto made attempts to add an element, and for each time tried, Naruto might as well have been trying to make a 10-pound warhead for fire bombs. Because every time he tried the element-powered Rasengan, if he tried the fire element it blew up in his face. When he tried water element, he found maintaining a shape to be real chore due to the element's fluidity. When he tried the earth element he found it rather hard to shape. When the wind element was being tried, it was similar to fire, only key difference, instead of gunpowder like fire it was like a bomb of spring-loaded shuriken cutting up Naruto's face. And last element to try was lightning, and after one try of being electrocuted he was 5.5 days into his week of 7 days. Erig, Naruto says while frustrated. All the power in the world and I can't make a simple elemental Rasengan with the stuff Uncle Mikuru told me about. His thought process was interrupted when a sphere had clonked him on his head. Naruto had picked up the odd-looking sphere. After touching it he discovered it to be hollow. In the sphere he found a paper that read, a quote from the third Hokage. Never forget your own advice. At first it didn't click, but after a stroll down memory lane it clicked. I am a moron to forget that. Naruto makes the cross hand seal and suddenly hundreds of shadow clones appeared in the clearing, and then he orders the clones to start working on the different forms of the elemental Rasengan, and after a day Naruto had mastered 2 of the several ideas he had in his head. Rasenshuriken and Supernova Rasengan, but that took a combination of Madara's fire style and Hashirama's earth style and wind from Naruto, but in the end Naruto perfected it. Naruto then walked back to the hotel eager to show his uncle what he had learned. When Naruto arrived at the hotel, Mikuru was chatting with Shizune about sealing jutsu and its aspects in the world of medicine. So let me get this straight, just by seeing it once you managed to break down every aspect of Lady Tsunade's seal. Shizune says, shocked. Yeah, and with a few tweaks I could safely apply it to most of our shinobi. That however depends on Tsunade's willingness to help me. Mikuru says, that's quite the accomplishment. For an Uzumaki it's child's play. I thought you were Minato's brother. I am, but I learned under some of the greatest seal masters of their time. It's been fun. I really learned a lot about sealing jutsu for medical reasons. If you don't mind, could you give me a few sealing jutsu lessons, and in exchange I will teach you some medical jutsu. Shizune gets up and leaves and sees Naruto standing there. Hey Naruto, how was the training? I finally mastered 2 of my ideas, Rasenshuriken and Supernova Rasengan. Nice, I guess that you won Hashirama's necklace from Tsunade. Yeah, but I'll rub it in her face tomorrow. For now I think I'll take a nap. Naruto lies down on the bed and falls asleep. Minato, your kid really is the shit of legends. Mikuru smiles at his nephew. The next morning Naruto and Mikuru went to go see Tsunade to see her face when Naruto proved her wrong. Naruto knocked on the door, and after a few seconds, when there was no response, Mikuru looked at Naruto. Hey Naruto, is Shizune or Tsunade in there? Yeah, I sense Shizune's chakra but not Tsunade's. There are traces and a jutsu was used, but a small scale one based on this chakra. Should we knock again? Sure, why not? Naruto knocks on the door and again there is no response, but they hear an oink, oink from behind the door, and Naruto opens it to see a knocked out Shizune. Naruto rushes over and checks her over with the limited medical techniques Hashirama taught him. What happened? She's been knocked out, but she should rouse soon. Naruto slaps Shizune on the cheek a couple of times, and after a few seconds Shizune wakes up and looks at Naruto and Mikuru. What is going on? What day is it? Monday. Why? Mikuru asks. Lady Tsunade. What? Naruto asks. She's left to meet with Orochimaru. She knocked me out last night. We have to go now. I'll explain on the way. Shizune runs toward the window and opens it when suddenly a kunai flies and hits the pipe right next to her. Wait, Shizune. Jiraiya says out breath. Damn that Tsunade, she spiked my drink with something. I can't mold my chakra properly, and on top of that my body's numb and I can't throw kunai properly. Damn dumb pervert. Mikuru says, shaking his head on how Tsunade trick him with something so obvious. Hey, in my defense, she's a medical specialist. Despite her current condition, only she can make a tasteless, odorless drug that works against ninja. I didn't expect her to find an opportunity to poison me, even if I was slightly drunk. Suddenly Naruto throws a kunai at the apartment complex across from them with a dark sneer on his face. The funny thing is, Kabuto, even though you managed to suppress your chakra from me, you still couldn't hide the darkness in your heart. Naruto leaps over only to find a small torn piece of cloth where his kunai had hit the wall. Damn, he got away, but I was close, and this definitely has his chakra on it. Mikuru bonks him on the head. You baka. You scared me half to death. Mikuru scolds. Hey, he was after Shizune, I could feel it, and if he's her then that means Orochitem is here. Naruto starts to run off when Shizune stops him. Wait Naruto, you should know the story behind this. A week ago Orochimaru approached us with deal. In exchange for healing his arms he would bring back her loved ones Nawaki, her brother, and Dan, my uncle, and her lover. Only 2 jutsu that I know of that could do that. The first is Rinne Tensai, but for that you need the Rinnegan and reanimation, the jutsu he used against Konoha to bring back Tobirama, my mom, dad, and Izuna. Naruto says, we have to hurry. Mikuru says, and they run off toward where Tsunade and Orochimaru had met a week earlier. Tsunade was leaning against a wall opposite where she punched, when Orochimaru walked up from the opposite end. Your answer? Orochimaru asks. I'll heal your arms, but in exchange you don't lay a finger on Konoha. Tsunade says. Very well. Orochimaru holds up his arms and Tsunade starts molding chakra for a healing jutsu. However, just before the jutsu makes contact with Orochimaru's arms, they jump back and a kunai land right between them. Both Sannin look up to see Kabuto standing there, then he jumps down and lands right behind his master. What is the meaning of this? You would betray me at the last minute. Tsunade, you would betray me after I promised to bring back your loved ones, and this is how you repay me. Orochimaru scolds. However Kabuto, I trust you. What exactly gave away Tsunade's plan? I come from the medical corps just like her. Her chakra was filled with intent to kill. Kabuto responds. Your shirt is ripped slightly. What happened? I happened. A third voice calls out and all three turn to see Naruto standing there, his Mangekyo Sharingan flared and chakra dark. "Ah, Naruto-kun, what are you doing here? I've come here to kill you, you thrice damned serpent," Naruto says, jumping down, looking Tsunade dead in the eye. "I'm sure you said no, but did you know how Orochimaru planned to bring them back?" "No," Tsunade responds. "He planned to use the jutsu that your uncle invented, reanimation. However, this is no longer important as you have a serpent to kill while I handle his butt buddy." "Hey, don't insult Lord Orochimaru," Kabuto yells. "I notices how you don't deny the allegations I just throw your way," Naruto says snarly. Just then Tsunade leaps into the air and slams her heel down, which Orochimaru and Kabuto leap out of the way as the ground around them was completely obliterated. "Get the fuck over here, Orochimaru," Tsunade shouts as she rushes after them. "Oh yeah, like that will work," Madara says. "Oh shut up, Madara," Hashirama shouts back. "Make me. I will then." "Shut the hell up," Kurama and Naruto shout simultaneously. Then Jiraiya, Mikuru and Shizune appear next to Naruto. "How many times do I have to tell you not to release your weight seals?" Mikuru bonks Naruto on the head again. "Well, sorry if I want to kill Orochimaru," Naruto responds sarcastically. "Anyway, you should handle Kabuto and let Jiraiya, Tsunade and I handle Orochimaru." Tsunade slammed her fist into the ground again, just missing Kabuto, who was using his superior speed to avoid her blows. Tsunade was breathing heavily, looking at Orochimaru and Kabuto, hatred in her heart. "Out of breath already? Well, none of us are getting any younger," Orochimaru says. "Taijutsu was never my forte, but I guess that doesn't matter now," Kabuto says, and he pulls out a food pill and eats it. Then he starts making hand signs: tiger right pointing arrow, horse right pointing arrow, rabbit right pointing arrow, rat right pointing arrow, dog, and then blue chakra surrounds his hands and then runs at Tsunade. A chakra scalpel. So he knows medical ninjutsu too. Tsunade thinks shocked, then she jumps back as Kabuto appears from the ground trying to hit her with the chakra scalpel. Then Tsunade slams her fist down where Kabuto was in order to smash him like a bug. Kabuto dodges and runs off again and ducks as Tsunade throws a devastating kick. Then she bounces off the rock in front of her for a second attack, but Kabuto vanishes and manages to sever her bicep and rectus femoris. "You can't use that monstrous strength any longer," Kabuto gloats. "With that scalpel, why not go for my heart or arteries?" "That's true. With this I could very easily kill you without even breaking the skin, but that requires careful aiming and a long blade, both of which are hard to achieve in battle." Kabuto then charges her. "Then again, perhaps if I just aim for your neck." Kabuto thrusts his hand again and again, trying to kill her, and then finds an opening, but Tsunade trips him up, to which he responds with striking her intercostal. "Damn it all, I can't breathe. This guy's no ordinary medical ninja. I was never that quick or precise even in my prime. Can't hit anything too vital. We don't want you dying just yet. However, you won't be going anywhere for a while." Kabuto gloats again when Tsunade reappears behind him and chops the base of his skull and top of his spine, sending him to the ground. She shouldn't even be conscious because she would have trouble breathing. "Alright then, I guess the time of going easy is gone. It would be so much easier if I could just kill her." Kabuto tries to get up when suddenly his body stops moving the way he wants. "I try to move my right arm and my left leg tenses." No, she couldn't have. Surprise. Tsunade punches Kabuto and sends him flying backwards. "Nothing's responding right, but it's not my muscles. So that's how it is," Orochimaru says. "I see. You finally noticed. It's your whole nerve system. I turned my chakra into electricity, then sent it ripping through your body." She attacked his lines of communication. As the body and brain communicate with electricity, Tsunade must have confused all the signals that run through the body. She can still fight like this even though she stopped fighting for a long time, so this is what a legendary Sannin is like. Kabuto thinks concerned. Just then Tsunade starts making hand signs, form a healing jutsu, and then applies it to her in coastal, but it only helps slightly. Not enough chakra for a healing jutsu at this rate, Tsunade thinks. "When I try to move my right hand, my left leg moves. When I try and move my left ankle, my right shoulder moves. Alright, I've just about figured out what moves what. Thought you had me there. Don't underestimate me." Kabuto spins around drawing a kunai and charges. "So you fear the sight of blood? Well, see some." Kabuto prepares to stab down when his kunai is blocked by a blue ethereal arm, and in a flash of smoke Naruto, Mikuru, Shizune and Jiraiya appear. "It's been a while, Jiraiya," Orochimaru sneers. "You have evil looking eyes, as usual." Jiraiya retorts, "Hey Kabuto, I missed last time, however now I won't miss." Naruto sneers darkly. "I'd like to see you try. I could go toe-to-toe with Kakashi if I wanted to." Kabuto responds, "And I nearly killed Orochimaru a month ago, what's your damn point?" Naruto activates his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. "Tell me Kabuto, does a uke like yourself ever experience fear?" Naruto flares his chakra, activating the Susanoo. Such dark chakra, this isn't the Kyuubi's chakra, it's fouler. For a second Kabuto saw the after figure of Madara stand in Naruto's place as a dark shadow overcomes Naruto's face. Tsunade pushes Jiraiya out of the way, a look of rage on her face. "Out of my way, I'll kill them myself." Tsunade charges, then jumps in the air, swiping her foot at Kabuto, who dodged, but the next attack kicked the kunai out of his hand and into a rock. "You may be able to move, but you're still not at 100%. Kabuto dodges her attacks, then grabs the kunai in the rock and swings it. Too slow. Kabuto's attack was a second faster and Tsunade froze up as blood covered her face and arms slightly. "Your jutsu wore of now, I am at 100%, Kabuto says darkly. "Battling two Sannin is bad, but at least I got one down." Kabuto punches Tsunade, who crashes into Shizune. Naruto looks over at Kabuto darkly. "Mistake number 2 Kabuto, be smart, leave now and live." However, even the Buddha loses patience if insulted a third time. "You're just some brat sitting at the grown-up table. That's 3. Madara says. Naruto draws his gun by inside and charges Kabuto, slicing at every opening that Kabuto presents, and eventually when Kabuto finds an opening in Naruto's defenses, he forms the chakra scalpel to cut Naruto's head off, but just as he is about go for the kill, the rib cage of the Susanoo appears, protecting Naruto. "If this is the best you can do, I think you're overestimating yourself, or you're underestimating Kakashi-sensei. I mean, he at least made me work for my victory, and you basically just handed it me on a silver platter." Naruto grabs Kabuto with Susanoo and starts squeezing him as he crushes Kabuto's internal organs. Drown in despair, this is the power of Madara Uchiha, the power of your death. Kabuto starts coughing up blood. "Damn it, my lungs have just been pierced, my rib cage, soon my lungs will fill with blood." Kabuto thinks in fear as he searches Naruto's eyes for any hint of regret. "Last mistake Kabuto, Tsukuyomi." However, just before Naruto can enact the jutsu, Kabuto squeezes his eyes shut from pain. "Weakling, power is not will, it is the phenomenon of physically making things happen." Naruto tosses Kabuto aside and he backflips right next to his master. Then Naruto notices that the wounds Kabuto had started to heal. "That is so strange. How can he heal that well?" "Nice try Naruto, but my greatest ability is not my physical prowess but my powers of recovery. Fine, I could just call down a gigantic meteorite, but that would kill all the fun." "You're bluffing," Kabuto says. Am I really?" "He's not Kabuto," Orochimaru says. "Not impressed, I can do that too." Madara yells. "Shut up you." Naruto says. "Shizune, you back Mikuru up against the guy with the glasses, I will handle Orochimaru. But before we do that, I want Tsunade to something about my body. The drug will most likely last for a while, I'm sorry, but not even I can do anything about it." Shizune responds. "You're kidding me." Jiraiya freaks out. "Fine. I guess I'll battle the way I am. Tsunade, use your healing techniques and rest." "What about me?" Naruto asks in a dangerous tone. Guard Tsunade and the pig. Like hell, Tabane." Kabuto draws some blood from his hand and wipes it on Orochimaru's summoning tattoo, while Jiraiya bits his thumb and wipes the blood on his thumb, and both Kabuto and Jiraiya make the hand signs for the summoning jutsu. When Kabuto slams his palms on the ground, 2 gigantic snakes appear, but when Jiraiya does it, Gamakichi appears. "What's up?" Gamakichi says. "What the hell? Where's your father?" Jiraiya shouts. "I knew you were an idiot, but this takes the freaking cake, Jiraiya." Orochimaru says, roaring with laughter. "Looks like Tsunade did something to you. Sacrifices were needed for that jutsu, maybe she wanted to use Jiraiya." Kabuto responds, "Jiraiya as a sacrifice, that sounds just like Tsunade to me. How do you like that he's already seen my handicap?" Jiraiya thinks, "Why don't I try since Jiraiya's out of it?" Naruto thinks to himself and claps his hands together, and the contract seal appears, and in a flash of smoke the drill bird appears, with Naruto on top of it. "Not this crap again." Kabuto whines as he remembers the last time the bird was summoned. Kabuto lets go. "You take Shizune and Naruto, I will take Jiraiya." "Ah, you forgot about me, I'm hurt, snake bastard." A voice calls out from behind them and they both turn around to see Mikuru standing there in his Colossus form. What the foo? Kabuto shouts as Mikuru punches Kabuto in the gut, sending him flying down on the ground, and Naruto runs up and starts kicking Kabuto in the gut. Then with a swift uppercut, Kabuto goes flying up, right into Mikuru's drop kick. Great fire Annihilation. Mikuru and Naruto shout simultaneously and the huge wave of fire shoots towards Kabuto, who dodges, and the snakes shoot towards the ground kicking up debris. However, everyone dodges wand with the debris in the air. Kabuto punches Shizune and Naruto leaps after the traitor when the smaller of the two snakes appears in the smoke and prepares to swallow Naruto. Not twice, asshole. Naruto holds out his hand. Almighty push. The rockets backwards. Jiraiya watches as the snake suddenly bursts into black flames. Remind me never to piss of Naruto. Jiraiya thinks. Your fight is with me. Orochimaru calls out from behind him as he rises on the larger snake, but Jiraiya starts making hand signs. Earth style. Hell swamp. The snakes start sinking but don't disappear. Quote, damn, my chakra's still shot to hell, but at least the snakes aren't going anywhere. Just then Kabuto strikes Shizune with the chakra scalpel after he dodges her needles, and as she goes flying back she cries out, ninja art. Poison fog. Inhaling even a bit would be fatal. Kabuto thinks in fear as the mist swallow him, and Shizune looks on with pride when suddenly Kabuto's hands appear from the ground and her leg tendons are cut, and Kabuto emerges from the ground and knocks her aside, and a bit more blood splashes onto Tsunade's face and she goes into a state of deeper shock. Kabuto slowly makes his way towards Tsunade when Mikuru appears right behind him, but, seeing the flash of light behind him, spins around, chakra scalpel active, and severs Mikuru's carotid attires. However, Mikuru just stands there, then punches Kabuto in the face. Surprised, my regeneration factor is even higher than a tailed beast. How? You can thank your master Orochimaru. It's thanks to him that my powers are this advanced. Let me sum this up for you. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Mikuru slams into Kabuto with his shoulder, and while in his Juggernaut mode he cracks Kabuto's sternum, and it causes with 4 inches deflection. Kabuto starts coughing up blood as his wound starts oozing blood and bone fragments. That hurt, Kabuto. It's only a small fracture, walk of you pansy. Mikuru slams his fist into Kabuto's top rib, shattering it. Mikuru grabs Kabuto and throws him away, then runs off to back up Jiraiya. Naruto leaps back to his bird as his uncle tosses Kabuto like a rag doll. However, Kabuto dissolves into mud and starts wailing on Tsunade, who is still breaking down into shock. Get away from me. Tsunade shouts. You used to be called the insanity of the village, but now you're carrying around a child and working hard for the village. You've fallen, Jiraiya. Orochimaru mocks his old teammate. Well, it seems your butt buddy is getting his ass handed to him. Jiraiya retorts. My eyes see talent in all its forms. When I look at Naruto I see some, but Sasuke's potential is so much greater. Even with those weird eyes he is nothing compared to Sasuke since he was born into the art of Sharingan. I don't need the Uchiha kid, he's no fun. However, Naruto has a lot more potential than you see. Naruto may have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but without the original he can't beat Sasuke. If he's the best, you've got the third, failed utterly in raising ninja. You still don't understand, a shinobi isn't based on how many jutsu he knows. What matters most is the guts, to never give up. Kabuto starts to throw another punch at Tsunade, but Naruto blocks with his headband. Cut it out, you bastard. Naruto growls, then he punches Kabuto and marks him with the Hirishin marker. However, Kabuto uses his chakra scalpel to sever the tendons in Naruto's leg. Nice try, Naruto-kun. You might pack a mean punch, but you can't kill me. Kabuto smirks. You said, no way am I giving up. Even if I have to stay at Genin, I will become the greatest Genin Hokage. I never go back on my word. That's the way of the ninja. Can you honestly say that now? Yes, I can, because I have powers you don't. Allow me to demonstrate. Naruto forms a Rasengan and slams into Kabuto, sending him backwards. Watch this, Tsunade. This is the power of the future Hokage. Naruto forms another Rasengan in his hand, and suddenly a high-pitched noise is heard as it starts to deafen everyone. Naruto then finishes the jutsu, suddenly expands to the size of a Fuma Shuriken. You should have stayed out of this, you stubborn idiot. Now you die. Kabuto roars and charges Naruto with a kunai drawn. Naruto looks at Tsunade and says 2 words that stop Kabuto's heart in its tracks. I win. Then Naruto vanishes and reappears right in front of Kabuto and slams the Rasen Shuriken into Kabuto's chest. Wind style. Rasenshuriken. However, just before Kabuto goes flying, he severs the chakra network and tendons around Naruto's heart. Then he rockets back and right towards a rock, and when the shuriken makes contact it explodes outward, and then the countless microscopic wind blades that severely damage the body on a cellular level. Naruto watches with his Rinnegan trying to count the attacks. Whoa, the amount of individual attacks is almost infinite. Not even with our powers combined, neither Madara nor myself can count them. Hashirama says, shocked. Kenjutsu? Madara asks. Yeah, let's go with that. Naruto responds. And we're just going to abuse the hell out of it, aren't we? Oh, maliciously. Nice work, Naruto. This is the first time you were able to use the Rasenshuriken with one hand. Looks like those hours and hours of clone practice finally paid off. Kurama says. Naruto starts to walk over to Kabuto when suddenly he drops to the ground coughing up blood and collapses. Naruto, Madara, Hashirama and Kurama cry out in fear for their friend brother. I can't believe I'm being forced to use that jutsu. Naruto weaves the hand signs rabbit right pointing arrow boar, right pointing arrow ram. Kabuto stands up laughing but coughing out blood as he struggles to get up. How did you get up? Tsunade says, shocked. I defended myself with chakra, so even before I got hit I was already healing. Suddenly Kabuto stops dead and drops to the ground. How the only way that this could have happened was my chakra severed away. Kabuto's eyes widen as he remembered the name of the technique. Wind style. Rasenshuriken. Of course, wind style can attack at the cellular level. It's only thanks to my healing powers that I'm even alive. Kabuto smirks as his final attack takes its toll. In exchange for most of my chakra I managed to sever the chakra connection to his heart, so he can't get any help from the demon. Just then Naruto's body vanishes and he appears right next to Tsunade. It's alright, Tsunade, I'm okay. You used Izanagi. Do you have any idea how reckless that was? Madara yells as he, Hashirama and Kurama start pouring their chakra into Naruto's left eye in an attempt to keep it open, only to find to their shock that it wasn't closing or even losing its sight as they predicted. How? Izanagi caused the eye that use goes blind forever, isn't that right, Madara? Hashirama asked. It should, but for some reason it's not. I believe I can explain. A familiar female voice says as Kami walks out of Kurama's cave wearing her typical robe. Quote, Yami ni CJ ni, and I don't want Naruto going blind for any reason, for he is need to save this world, so I guess when I wasn't looking Yami or CJ made it so his eyes could never go blind except if the retina itself is damaged. Oh okay, just a little heads up would be appreciated next time. Hashirama says. Naruto started breathing hard and he drops to his knees. Whoa, I didn't know Izanagi took so much chakra. Naruto says next to a shocked Tsunade. How? You alive? Kabuto curses. Izanagi. Naruto says laughing. A kinjutsu of the Uchiha clan which allows me to rewrite my destiny, so recover from this asshole. Poor kid looks like he's on his last leg. Orochimaru says sarcastically. You're forgetting Tsunade's healing powers and Naruto's pure power. Jiraiya says back. That's not what I meant. What? Anyway, your fight is with me and Mikuru, you can't afford to be distracted. I never thought that boy could do so much. If he falls into the Akatsuki's hands, it'll be troublesome. In other words, now's the time to kill him. Orochimaru dives off the snake and shoots toward Naruto, who couldn't stand and too low on chakra to use some of his more powerful techniques. Jiraiya jumps after him, but then Orochimaru spits out his tongue and it wraps around Jiraiya's leg and whips him to the ground, and Orochimaru uses the hook, then spits out the Kusanagi blade and starts flying at the downed Naruto. He's headed for Naruto. Tsunade thinks in shock, then she jumps in the way of the blade and it pierces her right above her sternum. Orochimaru retracts the blade and then swallows it in his tongue. Tsunade, you were the only one I didn't intend to kill. If that boy lives, it'll be troublesome in many ways. You listen to me. No matter what happens, I will protect Naruto. Covered in blood and trembling. Why would you, one of the Sannin, want to risk your life for a mere genin? Chunin. Naruto struggles out. Kurama, chakra please. Hang on kid, I'll have you back up and running as soon as I can. Kurama responds. I did it to protect Konoha. Tsunade says, conviction evident on her face. To protect Konoha? Orochimaru asks, sneering. That's because this kid is someone who will eventually become Hokage. Damn straight. Mikuru thinks as he had run over to protect his nephew only for Tsunade to do it for him. Orochimaru starts chucking at Tsunade's declaration, talking about such nonsense. Besides, the title of Hokage is nothing but a load of crap. Only an idiot would want that job. With a dark realization, Tsunade realized she was just like Orochimaru in some ways, and now her comrades had paid for it. From here on, I, too, will risk my life. Tsunade roars and Orochimaru reals back in shock but quickly gets over it. If your life is so worthless that you can throw it away for a stupid kid like him, then hurry up and die as you should. Orochimaru spits out Kusanagi again and slash Tsunade across the chest. Tsunade collapses away from Naruto. Now all that's left is Naruto himself. Such a shame too, with your power you would have made a fine vessel. Like hell I would. Azura Path. Naruto forms mechanized armor and starts dodging Orochimaru's strikes, then his hand opens up and he fires a chakra laser at Orochimaru, who has to dodge, and just as Orochimaru was about to deliver a fatal blow, Tsunade steps in and takes it for him. Why Tsunade? I told you before, I will risk my life to protect this boy. You're half dead already. Orochimaru kicks Tsunade away, who lands in the grass, who just lies there trembling. Look at you, you're still trembling like a leaf, still can't overcome your fear of blood, can you? Why are you even willing to go through all that, and willing to go this far for this? Kid, why do you fight for a mere leaf? Just then Tsunade stops trembling and kicks Orochimaru in the face. Impossible. Tsunade's trembling has stopped. Tsunade stands up and glares at Orochimaru. That's because I'm the Hidden Leaf Village's 5th Hokage. Just then a weird marking appears over Tsunade's face. She's overcome her fear at last. Shizune thinks with glee. That mark, what the hell is it? What are you planning to do at a time like this? Just because you've overcome your fear of blood, doesn't mean that you can fight properly with such injuries. Tsunade makes the tiger hand sign with a smirk. Please wait. I'll heal you wounds, please don't break the seal. Shizune calls out. Reserve seal release, ninja art, meiotic regeneration. Suddenly Tsunade's wounds start closing and the mark disappears from her forehead. Looks like I'm not the only one developing new jutsu. How's it done? My chakra for years of stored in a space behind my forehead. With that chakra my body's abilities to make new cells is increased 20-fold. You can slash at me all you want, but I can't be killed as a result of battle. What she doesn't say is that any person, even her, can only divide their cells a limited amount of time. You speed that put you short in your life. Shizune thinks. Just then Tsunade wipes some blood on her arm and Kabuto's eyes widen in fear. This jutsu is Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto shouts out. Orochimaru leaps back as Jiraiya bits his thumb. Quickly come out you. Jiraiya thinks. At once Jiraiya, Tsunade and Kabuto make the necessary hand signs for the summoning jutsu. Summoning jutsu. All three of them call out simultaneously, and in a flash of smoke the three boss summons Kasuyu, Gamabunta, but instead of Manda a gigantic king cobra with the same purple skin appeared, and their respective summonses stand on top of their heads. Can I join the fun please Naruto? Kurama asks in a fake whining tone. Baka Kitsune. Naruto curses. Fine, only because you asked nicely. Naruto runs forward and jumps off of Katsuyu's head and starts making hand signs, then slams his palm in the air and roars out. Summoning jutsu, and in a flash of smoke Kurama appears in his fully glory. Katsuyu and Tsunade, Orochimaru and a new fella heard Manda had a kid brother, so this must be him. Gamabunta says, then he turns and sees Kurama with Naruto on top of his head. KY. QB. That's Kurama to you, Toad Breath. Kurama roars back. I have a name and I'm damn proud of it. What the hell Orochimaru, you expect me to fight Katsuyu, Gamabunta and the QB? When this is over I expect 300 human sacrifices, and why on earth didn't you summon Manda for this? The Cobra asks his summoner. Manda wouldn't dare fight the QB, but you're braver and more powerful than your brother. Orochimaru responds. That's why I summoned you, Mandus. Fine, but I still want those sacrifices when you're done. Mandus responds. Well, would you look at that, I can get that snake skin wallet I always wanted. Gamabunta responds. I'm going to pop you like a balloon, you dirty stinking toad. Mandus retorts. Let's go Kurama. Naruto roars out to his partner. Right. Kurama says, and then charges Mandus and tries to bite down on his neck, but Mandus dodges only for Katsuyu to shoot forward. Acid slime. Katsuyu shouts out and a set of slime shoots from her mouth, but Mandus dodges and wraps around Katsuyu, intent on strangling her when Gamabunta charges in, blade drawn preparing to strike, but Mandus simply opens his jaw and then clamps down on the blade. Mandus starts chuckling evilly. Katsuyu. Now. Tsunade calls out. Yes my lady. Katsuyu separates into a bunch of little Katsuyus, then scatters a bit and reforms a few feet away. Gamabunta and Jiraiya leap back and Mantis throws the blade at Gamabunta, who dodges and the blade lands in front of the reformed Katsuyu. Then Kurama takes advantage of the confused serpent to pounce on its back and bites the neck. Nor's chance crit. Kurama says with his mouth full so the words sound muffled and disoriented. Right. Naruto forms another Rasen Shuriken and hurls it at Mundus. Kurama lets go and leaps back just as the shuriken explodes. Orochimaru dodges, but Kabuto is hit for a second time. This time he's too low on chakra to stop it. Now Arrow Sennin. Bunta, give me oil. Jiraiya shouts. Got it. Gamabunta responds as his belly swells and he shoots out a stream of oil. Fire style. Toad flame bombs. The gigantic stream of oil lights up in a blaze, burning Mantis to a crisp. Looks like that did it, you think. Then Jiraiya notices the shed skin. No, too easy, he shed his skin. Just then the ground rumbles beneath them. Bunta, look out, bellow. I see, Gamabunta grabs the scaled thing that emerges only for it to be Mantis' tail. Mikuru was standing on the boulder that had suffered damage from Katsuyu's acid slime. He readies his 3x2 surprise. He maximizing the push of his chakra launches himself at Orochimaru, but Mantis bats him away like a softball. Mikuru's response before. Oh. Man, that insect was heavy. Mantis thinks. Phew. Mikuru is launched several miles into the air and after he manages to stop his momentum he smirks with a dark smile. Mantis, you fool. And using his chakra he rockets toward Mantis. Era. Mikuru roars as he plummets towards Mantis, claws drawn. Then he rips right through Mantis' skull and head, blasting the contents right out of it, and Mantis drops to the ground, dead. The remaining 3 summonses vanish and Naruto runs over the burning crater that was his uncle. Uncle, are you alright? Naruto yells as he runs over to the site of a regenerating Mikuru. Yeah, I'm fine and don't worry about a thing. Way worse things have happened to me. As he brings his dislocated arm and pops it back into place and repeats the process for his head, other arms. That's it. The answer to my problem of making Lee's new body Senju tough. Naruto, is something wrong? Mikuru asks. I just found the missing component to recreate Lee's body. I need your regeneration factor so his body can open the 8th gate and live. See, what I told you came to fruition after all. Your heart was in the right place, but when your heart and brain have separate agendas you're guaranteed to make one mistake after another. For until the brain and heart act as one, the most beneficial decisions will become clear as the blue sky and harbor waves. Guess that final step has passed. Mikuru smiles. Naruto turns to Tsunade with a smug look on his face. I think you owe me one necklace, Tsunade. I won our little bet. The entire group starts laughing and Tsunade hands over the necklace and Naruto puts it on under his armor. Anyway, let's head back to the Leaf Village after a good day's rest. By then your younger form shall be restored. Ba-chan. Naruto snickers at Tsunade's appearance. Baa-chan. I'll kill you, Naruto Uzumaki. Tsunade shouts and then runs after Naruto while everyone starts laughing with mirth. Mikuru talks one last look up at the sky. Minato, you'd be proud of your kid. Mikuru smiles as the vestige of his brother appeared in the clouds. Kabuto was watching his master pace around the room. Lord Orochimaru, are you okay? Kabuto asks. No, I'm not okay, you moron. I nearly got killed by that Kyuubi brat and my former teammates. Orochimaru yells and then he clutches his arms in agony. Kabuto, fetch the Sound Ninja 4. The time has come to retrieve Sasuke-kun. Yes, Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto bows, then walks out and starts headed down to the chamber where the Sound Ninja 4 were training. When he arrives he hears voices arguing back and forth. Fuck you, fat ass. A distinctly female voice called out. A lady shouldn't speak like that. A second voice responds. Fuck yourself. Then Kabuto walks in to see the Sound Ninja 4 standing there. Enough, you two. Kabuto says. What the hell do you want, Four Eyes? Tayuya asks. The 4 of you have a mission. What is it? Sakin steps forward, a confused look on his face. Retrieve Sasuke Uchiha by any means necessary. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.